New details on the devastating Sacramento shooting that left 6 dead and 12 wounded. City police now say the shooting was likely a result of gang violence. NTD's Chenny Wu brings us the update.
Sacramento police say that gang violence was at the center of the mass shooting early Sunday that left 6 people dead and 12 wounded. In the Wednesday release, the police department said that the gunfight involved at least 5 shooters from separate groups, and that number is expected to grow. Only 2 suspects, both brothers wounded by the gunfire, have been arrested in connection with the shooting, and so far only face firearms charges. Authorities say they're still determining who the actual shooters were. Police said that at least 2 gangs were involved. They declined to provide more details or name the gangs involved or the affiliation of any suspects. However, experts say that if gangs are to blame, it would mark an unusually bloody feud. The Sacramento Police Department encourages any witnesses with information regarding this investigation to contact the dispatch center, and that so far nearly 200 videos, photographs, and other pieces of evidence have been received and are being studied. Chenny Wu, NTD News.
Police arrested 3 women in connection with a high-end mall robbery in the Bay Area. The mall was also robbed last year.
Police arrested 3 female suspects on Tuesday night. They are facing robbery and weapons charges after they allegedly struck and pepper sprayed an officer at Stanford Shopping Center in Palo Alto. 21-year-old Selena Quiros, 22-year-old Alexis Quiros, and 22-year-old Leah Perez, all of Sacramento, are booked at the Santa Clara County Main Jail. According to the press release, a Macy's loss prevention officer had attempted to stop 3 women after he saw them exiting the store with clothing that they had not paid for. When the officer went outside the store and asked them to return the merchandise, they refused. One of the suspects attempted to pepper spray him. The other 2 suspects punched the victim in the face and head. Afterwards, they fled in a nearby vehicle. The officer contacted the police. The victim said his head hurt but declined medical attention. Responding officers located the suspect vehicle leaving and were able to detain them. In addition to the 3 suspects, the vehicle contained 3 juvenile passengers, ranging in age from 7 months to 17 years. The 3 juveniles were released to a family member. Last June, shoplifters made off with $100,000 in handbags from a Louis Vuitton store. Since then, the shopping center has stepped up the security with more on-site patrols.
A Southern California school board moved to ban critical race theory from its classrooms. Both sides showed their support, but the theory fell to a 3-2 vote.
Critical race theory, or CRT, is now banned at the Placentia-Yorba Unified School District following a school board vote on April 5th. The board has spent months discussing CRT, a theory which divides society into oppressors and oppressed based on race. Hundreds of people showed up to the board meeting to hear the final decision. About 50 public speakers gave their opinions. Some public commenters argued that banning CRT prevents teachers from teaching about topics of history, such as slavery or school segregation. However, Vice President Marilyn Anderson refuted these accusations.
I've reviewed AP classes on literature and U.S. history, and I see no conflict. I've read articles where teachers in states that have CRT laws see no conflict on the way that they teach. We are not banning topics. The resolution plainly states that this is about how, not what.
But President Carrie Buck and trustee Corinne Freeman voted against the ban. They said banning CRT was censorship.
So our curriculum has never been and isn't CRT. This resolution is politically driven and it serves to ban and censor. Curriculum development belongs in the hands of our educators. Our process of approving curriculum is done, as you've heard tonight, starting with credentialed professional teachers.
Buck said she has been keeping track of people who support or oppose the resolution.
And I have an ongoing list of people that support it and don't support it. And I've cross-referenced, removed double names, and I have over 700 people now that are opposed to this resolution and 160 that are for it.
Blades then contested Buck's list. She cited a study conducted by the Orange County Board of Education.
The question, do you believe that critical race theory should be taught in public schools? Yes, 19%. No, 75%. Undecided was 4%. And this is strictly the Placentia-Yorba School District. This is only for our district. These are what our responses were.
Blades further argued against the statements that claimed CRT was not taught in public schools. She said her own children have been taught the theory in their curriculum.
My kids, 3 of my kids have been taught CRT, and that has been in the last 5 years, all 3 of them. In 2017 and 2018, we didn't know what critical race theory was. We just thought they were just teaching communism.
Since the discussion began among board members, Blades said she received inquiries from different school boards requesting to receive a copy of the resolution to ban CRT in hopes of proposing it. The board passed the resolution in a 3-2 vote. The ban on CRT went into effect immediately.
If a car hits a gas line, the situation, including the potential fire it may cause, needs immediate response. That's what PG&E, along with the local fire department, simulated in a live drill. NTD's David Lam visits a fire training ground in Northern California to see how it's done.
We're at a training site that's been used as an emergency simulation site. Now today, PG&E partnered with the fire department and law enforcement to perform a rescue mission on what happens when a car runs into a gas meter. Utility professionals and first responders went through live training on Thursday, just west of the Dumbarton Bridge in Menlo Park.
It's basically a car gets in an accident, hits our gas meter, and then gas starts blowing. And when a situation like that happens, we show up and we simulate the emergency because we want to make sure that all of our employees are working through their processes and procedures to make sure they have everything in play.
In this kind of situation, the police are there to keep the order and stop any obstructions. And the firefighters come in to douse the source of the fire. The fire marshal said his fire team was not aware of the details of today's simulation.
Just like in a real-life situation, they don't know what they're going to show up to. So the firefighters here were not informed of what exactly those scenarios would be. So that way they can show up and they have to obtain the information just like in real life and then make decisions on the best way to resolve the situation safely.
The PG&E team stands by, waiting for the all clear to come in and repair the gas leak. A PG&E spokesperson said if people are planning to do digging projects, such as for plants or trees, there's a risk of hitting gas lines.
Now, in 2021, we had about 1,600 incidents of people hitting gas lines. About 89% of homeowners who hit a gas line did not call 811. So this means that most people aren't calling to get those underground lines marked.
This is regarding areas in northern and central California. Tostado says, especially during the springtime, locals should call 811 to get a free inspection on areas to avoid while digging.
People don't believe it, but on average, almost every day, we have about 4 incidents where people hit gas lines and cause gas leaks. In some areas, that number is a lot higher.
A staff member told NTD that trainings like these will be used for video purposes for staff, but it's not the same as having live hands-on training. David Lam, NTD News, California.
A Southern California Board of Supervisors is planning to ban single-use plastics in the food service industry. The change comes as a part of an effort to be more environmentally friendly and sustainable.
The Los Angeles Board of Supervisors preliminarily approved an ordinance for all single-use and disposable utensils and flatware. Now all restaurants and food facilities in LA County are required to distribute recyclable or compostable food service containers, cups, dishes, and cutlery. It's part of an effort to cut down on the use of single-use plastics.
Moving forward with this ordinance, I believe it'll help the county achieve the waste and pollution reduction goals that have already been established by our own county sustainability plan and will lead us to a better roadmap to sustainable waste and future management.
The ordinance would also prohibit retail stores from selling styrofoam, products such as coolers, packing materials, cups, plates, and pool toys, unless they are encased in a durable material. It would also require that full-service restaurants with sit-down service provide customers with reusable multi-service utensils and plates. Various environmental groups back the ordinance, citing the impact of plastics on waste streams locally and globally, and on people's health. On the other hand, business groups oppose the ordinance, saying there is no evidence that waste will be reduced. They did say that costs will increase. Solis acknowledged that the changes would affect business operations. The council also approved a year-long outreach and education campaign leading up to the implementation of the ordinance.
And our departments will also evaluate the creation of a grant program, as was stated earlier, which is very important to help support our businesses with this transition with financial help.
The ordinance still must return to the board for a final vote. An exact date for that vote was not immediately set. If the board approves, the ordinance would take effect next May. Food trucks would need to comply by next November. Farmers markets, catering companies, and temporary food facilities would need to comply by May 1st, 2024. Violators would be fined up to $100 per day to a maximum of $1,000 per year.
15 firefighters from the same Southern California district have made headlines for adding daddy duties to their roster. The crew has welcomed the 15 bundles of joy, one baby born to the family of every firefighter, within a span of just 1 year.
In early March, Chino Valley Fire District shared pictures from an adorable photo shoot featuring 15 crew members and their babies at the fire station. The post reads, "CVFD is excited to share with you the newest additions to our fire family." At the time the photo was taken, the babies' ages ranged between 3 weeks and 12 months. Many of the babies were born to proud first-time fathers during the tough times of the pandemic. It's an unofficial record baby boom for Southern California firefighters. In 2019, Rancho Cucamonga Fire District crew members welcomed 9 babies between March and July of that year.